You're watching a Satluj TV News special. I'm Angus Scott in London. A seemingly harmless photograph of two girls smiling at a camera circulating across social media would on the face of it just be a normal and insignificant everyday event. But one particular photograph hasn't just gone viral, it's given the world a shocking hint of the powerful forces quietly driving the dark underbelly of politics, not just in India but the world over. The photograph is of two Indian Olympic wrestlers, Vinesh Phogat and Sangeeta Phogat, detained by police after protesting outside Sunday's inauguration of the new Indian Parliament in New Delhi. Sitting on the bus, they're seen innocently smiling at the camera. But when it's discovered that the photo isn't genuine, but a doctored photograph digitally manipulated by artificial intelligence, it paints a very different picture of two protesters detained unhappily on a bus. Apart from the obvious concern about the manipulation of an ordinary photograph to represent a completely different reality, when one delves deeper into why these two young girls sit in police custody on a bus, it starts to reveal a much more sinister story that has wider implications for anyone concerned about a healthy, democratically functioning society. The story relates to a scandal concerning Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, an Indian politician serving as Member of Parliament for Kaizerganj as a member of the ruling BJP. He's also the current president of the Wrestling Federation of India and stands accused over allegations of sexual harassment and intimidation towards several young female wrestlers, accusations which he vehemently denies. The protests seen outside the new Parliament's inauguration on Sunday were part of ongoing protests by supporters of the young wrestlers, demanding justice and for what they have claimed have been deliberate delays by the establishment in pursuing legal investigation into the allegations. But why then has this doctored photograph raised such a storm? It comes on the back of a coordinated campaign against the wrestlers to undermine their accusations and which attempts to question their credibility in the public eye. And it's in this that the wider implications start to raise concerns. Whilst trust continues to remain strong from all sides in the mature legal system of India and its ability to deliver sound, impartial justice, the process begins to fail if and when political influence interferes in matters before they can reach the safe, reliable hands of the justice system. Brij Bhushan must of course be presumed innocent until otherwise proven guilty under the independent scrutiny of a court of law. And in such process the facts from all sides would normally be presented and fair judgment passed. But questions are now being raised as to why political levers of power are being pulled to avoid the case even reaching court. Of course, the immediate accusation is that the Federation President isn't just a powerful individual exerting influence across his home state, but also in the corridors of power in New Delhi. And thus, it has become politically expedient to effectively protect him from any such scandal, whether innocent or otherwise. Leaving the intricacies of the case aside, and whoever is right or wrong in this matter, examining the situation at a basic level, we have a minority, primarily female group of parties with little power or influence, laying accusations of sexual harassment against another, a powerful male individual, closely connected to the halls of power in New Delhi. And it's a story that has been similarly reflected across the Western world, making headlines in recent years. Hollywood's image has been battered for years as the Me Too movement erupted, when young, powerless actresses finally had the courage to speak up against the powerful and well-connected individuals who had, up until then, controlled their careers. It was only when support grew for the few brave individuals who had the courage to put their heads above the parapet that the tsunami of Me Too's then appeared, and the rotten underbelly of abuse was finally exposed. What was relevant to the Indian wrestler's story was up until that tipping point, the few women who had the courage to speak out faced a powerful surge of misinformation about their credibility and integrity, directed by the hidden, secretive figures in the industry. It's very easy to sway public opinion, and many were then persuaded to question if it was really true why it had taken so long for these women to speak out. And the world of sport was no stranger to similar accusations, where across the UK and Europe, as the Me Too movement gained momentum, more and more young girls finally gained the courage to speak out. Former French figure skating champion Sarah Abitbol recently revealed the rapes she suffered at the hands of her former coach, which had a bombshell effect in the world of French sport, prompting victims of abuse from more than 50 federations to speak out. But again, all against a backdrop of threats against careers and individuals' future in the sport should they ever dare speak out. So why has a simple doctored photograph relating to two Indian wrestlers become such a powerful symbol of more sinister machinations going on? The photograph remains a hint of the formidable tools at the disposal of parties keen to bury this scandal. Evidence has surfaced across social media of coordinated campaigns to question the wrestlers' motives, including conspiracy theories that the claims are simply driven by internal politics in India's wrestling community. And in similar tactics mirrored in the Me Too movement, campaigns were launched questioning if it was really true why they hadn't spoken out earlier. How easy then, once again, to sway public opinion against a small, powerless minority, especially if the accused has at their disposal huge wealth, power and resources. It's widely known that the BJP was the first political party in India to acknowledge and use the power of social media in mobilising public opinion, in establishing their well-known IT cells to help influence the opinions of the people of India. Armies of bots and real people are regularly mobilised by all sides to try to influence public opinion one way or another, by flooding social media with propaganda, hate speech and false flag operations. In any functioning democracy, the world over, public opinion becomes the primary target for all political parties to win. And in an increasingly technological world, parties are resorting to any tool at their disposal to sway public opinion. The fact that it appears the powers of AI are now being utilised raises huge concerns that normal due process of both law and democracy is potentially being thwarted. Technology has been growing at an exponential pace, and the growth of AI itself has become such a concern that both the White House and the EU Parliament are currently debating regulations to control its power over its potential to damage our way of life. Its capability extends not just in doctoring simple photographs like this to subtly portray a different context, but is even now capable of creating photorealistic avatars known as deep fakes. How easy then to control public opinion if you see a well-known celebrity telling you facts as their programmers and controllers want you to perceive them?
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real.
In the old days, politicians would shout from street corners or from a market square, persuading you to vote for them. In the 21st century, politics has evolved into a hidden war of psychology and technology, a melee of influence and seduction, manipulation, and now deep fakes. The fact that the use of such technology is no longer the plaything of the IT or games industry. Instead, powerful vested interests are using it to influence all of us, to change and manipulate the way we think and perceive everything around us. To influence a majority to turn against a powerless minority with a simple click of a button. It's developing into a hidden war between governments and the people that they govern, and as a result, the whole concept of democracy is fast becoming a malleable property. How can you be sure that the way you think is not the end product of someone else's manipulation? The lesson to us all is don't believe anything that you see or hear online. You've been watching a Satlaj TV News special, and you can find more stories in detail on our channel Satnet News, so it's worth clicking on that subscribe button to make sure you get to see stories as they're broadcast. And don't forget, if you have any comments on this or opinions on any of our news stories, you can comment below or indeed drop us a direct message at message@satlajtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, thanks for watching this Satlaj News special. For Satlaj TV News, I'm Angus Scott in London.